Okay, if you like horses, you've come to the right place. I'm Amber, I'm a middle school music teacher, and I'm walking every day here at the farm until I have to go back to work. So I'm here at my husband's family's horse farm. We have a horse boarding stable, and then I have my own personal horses. I do ride and show, but most of this is just caring for the horses and hanging out, at least for now. That's this video series. Look for more to come. So let's go.
With a boarding stable, the work really varies throughout the year. During the summer months, we don't have as much work to do in the barn, but that does give us work to do outside the barn, like fix fence and mow fields and things like that. We do have several horses that stay in during the daylight hours while the sun's pretty harsh outside, and they go out more in the evening. And then they come back in with everybody else to get their grain in the morning. So we have to get their stalls clean first thing in the morning so that they can have their stall for the rest of the day. Most of the time the horses make this stall cleaning pretty easy because they become predictable. They like to go and put everything in the same spot all the time, if that makes sense. Like the wet spot is typically going to be where the wet spot always is. Although every once in a while they do try to change things up on you, and I don't know what actually causes that. I'd be interested to know. Maybe one day we'll have cameras installed in the stalls where we can see what they're doing all day. But for the most part, they tend to make their wet spots the same place in their stall and put everything else where they tend to. We actually even have one that makes sure that his pile, if you will, goes in the corner, and it's the same corner every time, and he keeps it out of the way. Like, horses can be a lot like people in that regards. Like, some are messy and some are just really crazy neat, which I think is pretty awesome. In case you're wondering how long it takes me to clean a stall, yes, I have timed myself, and it really depends on the severity of the stall. An easy stall I can get done in about 8 minutes, but a stall that I have to work at is a little bit longer, somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes. So I average about 4 stalls on an hour. And that depends on how long the horse has been in too. If the horse has been in for a full 24 hours, yeah, it's gonna take me on that longer side, maybe even a hair more. I try to keep it under 15 minutes to stall, but you know, you can't always control that. And as I mentioned in a previous video, our stalls are cleaned once daily. Now there are some boarding barns that will clean twice daily, or even have more sophisticated equipment. I know of a lady that sent her horse to training in the state of California, and that lady had a machine that you would put the sawdust on, and it would actually sift the sawdust, the clean sawdust, back out for you, keeping all the waste material. I really feel like I need to Google this because I still have no clue what this machine looks like, nor do I have an idea of what the price range would be. That sounds amazing, but it also sounds really, really expensive and not something that would be a good economic choice for us here in the barn. Now, we also add fresh sawdust daily. Not every place does this, but a lot of people still buy bag sawdust. We just order it by the truckload. With 16 stalls in the boarding barn, there's no other way to do it but to order it by the truckload. Once the stalls are clean, it's time to bring everybody in, so let's get them in here for breakfast. Now, everybody runs their boarding situation a little bit differently. Here, when I go to get the horses out of the field, I just throw a lead rope around their neck and walk them in. All the horses know this routine. Now, this does look a little bit different whenever we take on a new horse. A new horse to the boarding stable would wear a halter and be walked out, usually just with me holding the halter. I sometimes will clip a lead rope, but that's mainly determined on the horse's behavior and how it receives a new situation. Some horses, when they come in, are super flighty and eventually settle down, and some horses, when they come in, are very much like, oh, this is nothing new, we're at a new boarding stable, and they don't give us any problems. And it's all an adjustment period. So I definitely think if you're thinking about opening a boarding stable or working at a boarding stable, that you need to be aware that you have to have a certain level of patience for horses that are older, but maybe a little bit more flight prone. With horses being a flight animal, they're not always going to take in new situations easily. And sometimes, you know, just the dumbest things send them off their rocker. Now, as a new horse comes to us, and as I said, we do usually take them out with a halter on, and they typically wear their halter in the field for about 7 days. We try to get the halter off as soon as possible. If we can take it off before 7 days, great. If it needs to stay on a little bit longer than 7 days, so be it. But why 7 days? Well, that's typically how long it takes a horse to get acclimated to the herd. You're looking at about 7 to 10 days for them to adjust, to work their way into the herd. A lot of times the herd will run them off and not let them near their resources. So a lot of times people have a hard time watching their horse integrate with a new herd when they move into a new boarding situation, because it does get nasty looking. They do chase each other. They do kick at each other. They come in with bite marks. It's just not pretty to watch. And I think that a lot of people, give their feelings to the horse, and horses don't operate like we do. They have their own set of rules. They have their own sense of community. And I think it's important to respect that. I can't caution enough about giving our human feelings and emotions to horses, because the rules are just not the same. It's not written out the same. Your horse is not going to go to the other side of the field and sit and cry because the other horses wouldn't share the hay bale with them. That's just not how it works. So at our place, the horses that have stalls go to turnout, or you may call it a dry lot, depending on where you're from. But for us, turnout in our mind is just a place for them to exercise, a place for them to socialize, to have that freedom. So there isn't any grass growing in turnout. Yes, there is green stuff on the ground. Yeah, there's probably a little bit of grass there, but there's also a lot of other things there too. And even if we kept it mowed all the time, which we try to, but we don't always get there, I don't know how much grass would actually grow, because it would be continuously overgrazed. There are far too many horses in one field to sustain grass growth. And because of this, it's ever so essential that we are taking up enough hay for all the horses that are going to turn out and allowing them the ability to have free choice hay. One of the things that I do to make sure that they get this access to free choice hay is that I don't just dump the bales wherever. I make sure that I'm throwing several flakes at a time out in clumps and spreading them all out, because that allows the weaker horses to get in there and at least get a chance at the hay. This is another reason why I don't necessarily, and this is a personal thing, completely personal. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't do this, but people that feed round bales, if you have a herd of horses where you have a weak horse that just really struggles to get into the bale because your more dominant horses are pushing them out of the way, I think this is a problem. That's another reason, because I have several, and I've said that in a couple other videos, that I just don't agree with feeding round bales to horses in this form. Now, if you're going to put it in your barn or wherever and roll it out and feed it to your horses that way, or if you have a small herd of one or two, that's also fine. But in our situation where we're caring for so many other horses that don't belong to us, that's not a situation that I think we should be promoting the dynamics. So when I go out there, I make sure that I throw all the hay out as far as I can so that everybody gets a fair shot. So here's another problem that I've recently ran into. Holly, I thought had just allergies, but looking into this further, and I did call the vet before anybody's like, you can't just go messing with her eyes. I talked to her, I examined the eyes. It looks like her eyeball isn't actually impacted, but she has a rather significant amount of swelling around her eye, and she has some white discharge. At first, I just chalked this up to allergies. So here I'm just trying to wipe it off and just kind of get a sense for what's going on. I wasn't sure if it was a blocked tear duct, which I did end up checking her nose later, because the tear duct actually comes out in the nose. And if you haven't seen a video of how they flush that, I actually have never seen it done before until I started researching it this week. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go check out how they unblock a tear duct. There is a video on YouTube of a vet doing the procedure. Very interesting. But I'm really just trying to get a feel for what's going on and trying to get some of the gross stuff out of her eye. And she is not really in pain, because this is a horse that if I was poking at her and it caused her any type of pain at all, she would be at the end of the rope. So, just while I understand that you're probably watching this and fast forward because that's how I posted it, and you see me kind of poking in there, she is not in pain to the extent that she would just bolt, and that's usually her. She doesn't do pain well at all. So this is the first day of us really dealing with this. And like I said, I did call the vet The eye itself does not seem to be involved. It is just swelling of the eyelids. I realize now, I thought it was just plain allergies, but it was actually, we've been battling a lot of flies lately. So this is probably the result of an infection from flies landing up in the eyeballs and kind of causing a little bit of infection. So I did clean it out, and I started putting neomycin on it, as you can see that I'm doing here. And she's handling this really well. And this particular day, right before I called the vet, I gave her Benadryl, and the vet actually told me that Zyrtec worked better. So I did change that up, and you'll see in tomorrow's video that it does seem to look better. But because we know this is fly induced, I'm going to make sure I hit her up with fly spray before I send her back out to the pasture. So this is actually the first time that I've ever had to deal with this. So in the 9 years that I've been here, that I've been working with horses, I actually have never seen an infection like this. Not completely surprised. And I've had some swollen eyelids before, but just not like this. And it seems like everybody's eyes are a little bit on the weepy side lately. So again, a lot of flies. I don't know what actually caused it, but I did monitor the situation, and it does get better. And I just trying to keep her other eye wiped down as well. One thing that I learned about horses that I will always repeat is anybody that tells you that they know everything about horses, they're dangerous and you need to stay away from them. There are all kinds of things. Like, I am still learning. Again, I've been here for 9 years, and there are days, like I said, this is my own horse, and I just had this happen, and I've never had it happen to that degree before. So it's always a learning experience. There is no way that everybody knows or anybody knows everything about horses. So just don't ever forget that. Well, it's about time for me to finish up my chores, and I will catch you in the next video. If you enjoy following me along on these adventures, please make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you more in the future, and look for more series to come up, because after I start back to work for the school year, I am not done with this adventure. I'm going to try to keep growing as a horseman, keep growing as a content creator. Like, I just love the process. So hopefully I see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.